I am a mother of three. I have a daughter and two sons. I work in healthcare. I have worked in healthcare since 2004. I started out as a CNA. I'm from Connecticut, so in Connecticut we're certified nursing assistants. But I moved to Vermont and I ended up being an LNA, which were licensed nursing assistants, which there is no difference except for licensure and certification. Um, I'm very outgoing. Always usually have a smile on my face no matter what's going on. Um, I I like to do anything crafty, um, doing things with my kids, going for walks. That's pretty much about me. I love to cook, uh, baking, more so baking. Um, Sometimes my kids laugh at me because they really don't like my food sometimes. Well, I have one picky eater. Um, well, that's pretty much it about me. Past work experiences? Well, I worked in retail, and before I ended up working in healthcare, um, I really started out in healthcare only because I worked with a coworker who was doing her CNA, and I really did it for the money. She said she was going to be making $16 an hour, and I was like, wow, I was impressed. And so I went for it. I There was a nursing home that offered you got paid and trained at the same time. Well, come to my knowledge, I wasn't making $16 an hour. I really only made $9.75, but it was a benefit to get trained. Took me a little bit to get used to what I signed myself up to do, and I I liked it. The job was rewarding. I knew that I was helping people that couldn't help themselves anymore. I decided I had a plan. I had a 5-year plan of how long I was going to work as in a skilled facility. And I did really stick to that 5-year plan. It can be a little depressing, I say, because you take care of these people and then one day they won't be there. But I wanted more. I decided to work. When I moved to Vermont, I worked in the nursing home because I worked there. I needed to establish myself there in a new state. So I decided to volunteer. I volunteered at the hospital because came to the realization no matter how much I applied to get a position, it wasn't easy. So I volunteered for about 2 months, and there were job postings. We had walls, and they posted jobs. And there was this one. It was posted for a surgical nursing tech assistant, and I got the position, and I got to work in the main operating room. I had 3-month extensive training, basically teaching me how to um, do the different types of specialties, from general surgery to urology, GYN and orthopedics. There was spinal nerve, well, which is neurology, which is part of orthopedics as well. I worked on my own. I basically did transport, housekeeping, and an LNA and helping anesthesia. It was like I had like 5 positions in one. It was a very small OR. It was just a 5 suite, so it was really small. Um, I met someone, so I decided I had to move to New Hampshire. So I found a position with working in a doctor's office, which was awesome because it was really specialized, and that was an OBGYN. So I got to learn what an OBGYN clinic does. So I had to prep charts, set up for different types of procedures, OB, which is women who are pregnant, and babies, and setting up non-stress tests, and doing blood sugars, and entering labs, and basically what a doctor office does. Very little to do at the front, setting up appointments. So that's what you had the front end staff doing. I did vitals when the patients came in and basically gave them like a report for their end of visit. Well, it was a long travel, so I decided to really focus myself on a different hospital that was a half an hour away from home instead of the hour drive that I was doing there and back. So I decided to do that. And working 5 days a week with a little one at home was kind of hard, and being away from home for like 12 hours. So I was persistent. I applied to every position I could that I was overqualified. And after about 5 months, I got myself a position as a LNA, which is a licensed nursing assistant, working on a medical surgical floor. Basically, it was a medical specialty, so we also had it was an overflow for orthopedics as well at the time. So I basically did direct patient care for 12 hours, 3 times a week. And I've been there since, except till recently. I now do work in a doctor's office, 10 minutes from home, and I am a medical assistant. And currently, I am being trained to be certified. And that's what my career has been like ever since 1997. Working well on a team. When I worked in the hospital, we had a unit that could hold 20 patients, and our quota was 3 LNAs to 20 patients, so we each had roughly about 7, some 6, depending on wherever you were on the unit. Well, sometimes we lose our third LNA because the hospital it's basically whatever the need of the rest of the hospital. They would go to a different unit, so we got floated at times. So we had to work as a team, so we each had 10. That would leave 2 LNAs on the floor with 10 patients apiece. We also had some added bonuses or complications, however you want to take it. Sometimes we also had one-to-ones, so that would take another LNA off the floor, where we'd have to rotate. And well, when that happened, we would have to get the nurses involved. They would have to sit if they wanted to take our place, if they wanted certain things done that they couldn't do or didn't want to do, or they had other things to do so they could work on their computers while they were sitting with a one-to-one patient, and then we could do certain things for them. Like I know there was things that, such as like point of care testing, which is diabetes. They weren't able to do that for some odd reason, not on my unit anyways. And so we worked very well together. We complemented we worked as a team. What they couldn't do, we did for them, but they took our place to sit with a patient or do something that, hey, if you want me to do this, well, I'll do that for you. And so it would make the day smoother. That's how we did. We worked as a team to make the day go smooth, even though it was chaotic. On the floor as an LNA at the hospital, it was a 12-hour shift, and there was always many things to do, and I had to prioritize my time. First thing you did in the morning, you make sure that your patients were safe. Then you did morning care. Vitals were in between that. You had to get them done at 2 or 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 6 o'clock. On top of that, you also had point of care testings for patients who are diabetics. That was at 7:30 in the morning, 11:30 in the morning, and 4:30 in the afternoon. And we had to have everything in place and do our work. The first thing you got in, made sure your patients were up and ready, safe, toileted, and then ready for breakfast. And on top of that, we would do the vitals. Then after vitals, we had to do point of care testing. Oh, don't forget, we also had a break to take, our lunches, our 15-minute breaks, and then, we did that all day long, where I had to prioritize everything. And then sometimes we had the added bonus of the last-minute EKG, and that took roughly about 10 minutes or so to set up and to do, or you'd have the one that it wouldn't read right, and that took time. And I would say, working on the floor, I always had to prioritize my time and my tasks and made sure that they were done in a timely manner. So I would also leave on time, because you got, if you didn't leave on time, that also reflected that you couldn't do your work in a timely manner, and it would be on your review. So that's basically it. Being on the floor, it was a go, 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 timely, better be organized, and get on top of charting. You still had charting. I forgot about the charting. You had to do your charting, what you did all day long, and don't wait till the last minute to do that. Do that in between, as you did each patient and what you did, what you emptied, such as urine or whatever, their food that they ate. So that's pretty much, I always had to prioritize my tasks. The time that I have showed initiative is currently, I am a medical assistant, and it is a new position for me. I came from working in the hospital as an LNA to becoming an MA, which is a medical assistant. And so the position is completely different than an LNA. I am responsible for prescription refills, rooming patients, and patients are our number one priority. But we also do little procedures that the physicians can do, but we do, where they're assistants, such as injections, which I'm still learning. I've done a few. I'm able to do adults and children for IM, which is intramuscular. I've only done a couple sub-Q injections. I have a couple more to learn to do till finally I'm cleared. But I show initiative by asking my coworkers if I can watch them, asking questions. Sometimes my confidence gets in the way, and I feel like I have to second guess myself. And that's what I do sometimes when I'm like, oh, I think I know it, but let's ask anyways. It's just to make myself sure of myself that I know what I'm doing and making sure I do it right. I don't want to do things wrong. I mean, being wrong isn't always a bad thing, but I got people's legal documents that you're writing on, and I just want to make sure that I don't have to fix it or make someone else fix it. But that's how I show initiative, especially with my new position. I have a few more things to go and get trained on, and I'll be nervous. I still have to do phlebotomy, and I've never ever stuck a needle in someone to draw blood. So I'm excited, but I can't wait. I've watched a couple times. I now know how to feel for someone's vein, which is pretty cool. But my initiative is really asking questions. So and watching. My learning style is to do and to watch.